guys? Welcome back to the Wrestling Rundown, episode 125. We're talking about the midweek wrap-up. It was a little lackluster this week.
Yeah, I mean, NXT was the second round of the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Yeah.
The entire second round.
And there was a lot of things that needed to be changed around and was changed around, and it was kind of a clusterfuck.
And some things that didn't need to be changed around that were changed around.
Exactly. But I want to start off with an announcement that there may be a new show that will add to the midweek wrap-up.
Well, it's not a maybe. WWE announced a new show coming up.
But we don't know what exactly it's going to be in total. It might not be something that we recap. We might, but there will be a Cruiserweight exclusive show starting November 29th, 205 Live, featuring Brian Kendrick, the Bollywood Boys, Grand Metalik, TJP, all the different guys you've seen on the Cruiserweight division, different guys you saw in the Cruiserweight Classic. That'll be exclusively on the WWE Network starting the end of November. They'll go, you said live right after SmackDown?
Live right after SmackDown goes off the air on the WWE Network.
So, wow, you get 8 to 10 SmackDown, and then
10 to 11.
10 to 11,
and then 11 is when they're going to start talking smack.
Wow. All right. Some interesting stuff going on there.
So basically, if you count the Cruiserweight division joining SmackDown, SmackDown's now a 3-hour show. You just have to catch the third hour on the network.
It's fine, though, because they're spreading the wealth of the Cruiserweight division, which is one of the few things that we actually look forward to on Monday Night Raw.
One of the only things.
Yes. So we'll see what ends up taking place there. Towards the end of the month.
So it's hard to tell whether or not it's going to make it onto the midweek wrap-up, or maybe we just add it to the SmackDown rundown.
Yeah. We will make that decision once we get to that point. But let's talk about NXT, where a couple of the second-round matches were filmed in San Jose.
Yeah, San Jose.
Which is where we saw NXT for the first time.
Yeah, we saw him in San Jose.
And so, one of which was supposed to be TM61 versus the team of Austin Aries and Roderick Strong. And if you've kept up with wrestling news of any kind over the last couple of weeks, you know that Austin Aries has a broken eyeball.
Yeah, well, no, the eyeball's fine.
Well,
all the shit around
everything around it was broken by Shinsuke Nakamura's foot.
Yeah, it's basically like the inside of his eye area just tried to explode.
Yeah. Luckily, his face held it in, his eye is swollen shut, and he is unable to compete. So, him and Roddy are trying to get TM61 to just forfeit, take yourselves out of the tournament so Roddy doesn't have to embarrass you by beating you both right here in front of everyone here in San Jose. William Regal's like, no.
That ain't how we do on NXT.
No, that's not what we're doing. So instead, he is going to, he does realize the fact that Austin Aries can't compete, but he doesn't want to keep switching people around. We've already had to switch TJ Perkins in for Hideo Itami. We don't want to keep switching things up. So instead, if TM61 is okay with it, they get to choose one of their members to take on Roddy in a singles match, and the winner of that will determine which team moves forward into the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So we end up getting Shane Thorne taking on Roderick Strong. This was probably the best match on the show.
This was a really good match.
It
was definitely the best singles match on the show.
It was because it was the only singles match on the show. It's nice to see Roddy in singles action.
Yeah.
Because that's really where he excels. He doesn't need a tag team. He's a one-man wrecking crew, and we've haven't really seen a lot of singles action from TM61 either. No. And Shane Thorne was a really good match for Roderick Strong.
You know how many flavors of Jelly Bellies they make?
I don't know. 60?
Whatever it is, it's about half the amount of backbreakers that Roderick Strong
does.
knows.
Thank you, Corey Graves.
He's only making that reference because I don't think it's in San Jose, but the Jelly Belly factory is in California.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's in that area. It's in the Bay Area.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had a cousin who used to work for them.
Oh, nice. Singles
Never
match.
got any free Jelly Bellies though.
Sons of bitches. Singles match, fun to watch. We still had Nick Miller and we had Austin Aries out there in their respective corners. And Austin Aries actually ended up breaking up a pin, pulling Shane Thorne out of the ring slightly. Referee didn't see it. And so Nick Miller goes around and tries to get in Austin's face. And Austin's like, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. My eye's all messed up. And then Roddy does a big through-the-ropes drop kick that takes out Miller. But that took his eye off the ball. Shane Thorne rolls him up. Rolls him up into a small package. And TM61 moves forward in the Dusty Classic.
There's an eye off the ball. Austin Aries joke.
Totally unintentional, but thank you for that.
Yeah. Shinsuke tried to take Austin Aries' eye off his head. That ball. The head ball.
The eyeball off of the... This is getting weird. Then we were supposed to have... This was the Dash Dawson. Yeah.
The Revival versus Gargano and Ciampa wasn't at San Jose.
No.
This was at the NXT taping.
This was at Full Sail.
My boys backed out. But in other news, my boys advanced.
Yeah,
Sorry, I have two teams.
I don't like this. I understand what they're going for, is they don't want to spoil...
They don't want to overkill.
Yeah, they don't want to overkill because they know DIY is going to be getting another tag team title shot.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But it really, after having to switch out Hideo, having to keep Austin Aries out of his match, having a team completely back out of the tournament is really... It's unfortunate, and I really feel like it hinders the tournament as a whole.
Bit.
They've had to switch so much up, and to just completely erase a match, I don't like that.
Yeah.
That really bothers me.
Especially with how impressed I was of the Revival's first round match, where they beat some people.
You don't even remember who it was.
No, they beat them thoroughly.
I
can almost guarantee it.
Yeah.
Some job squad.
I don't know. It was... I don't know.
Cedric and
CN.
Yeah. Yeah, beat them thoroughly.
After you remember who it was.
They beat them so bad I couldn't remember. They beat them out of my memory.
So, yeah. DIY moves forward, and they weren't too happy about it either.
No, but that's just because they still are seriously beefing with Revival.
Yeah, and their goals are still set. They plan on winning the Dusty Classic and then taking the tag team titles from Revival.
Hey, they've officially now moved on farther than they did at last year's Dusty Classic.
That's true. And be prepared for the return. Up next, we have the Authors of Pain taking on No Way Jose and Rich Swann. Rich Swann and No Way Jose actually giving the Authors of Pain a little bit of trouble through this match.
Yeah. So much trouble so that Paul Ellering even had to get involved.
Yeah. Swann was the rag doll. He's the smallest guy in the match. So he's just kind of getting tossed around by the Authors for quite a bit of it.
He threw his big right hand punch and it was just basically sloughed off.
Yeah, it didn't do a whole lot for him. But once he made that hot tag to Jose started to go fucking ape shit on the Authors of Pain. And he's got
that shit was bananas.
He's got the size and the strength to actually match up with him. But the fact that there's two of them, you get this point where you take out one, but as soon as they make that tag, the other one comes in and they're just as strong. So now it's a rotating door of shit. It never gets easy.
Ape shit.
Just 600 pounds of ape shit.
That's a lot of feces.
It was so close. It was almost there for Swann and Jose, but eventually, because Swann is so much smaller and not nearly as strong as the rest of the guys, he ends up getting completely taken out. Jose's trying to do this all by himself and actually tries to send Akam off the ropes. Akam actually ends up getting blind tagged by Razor, and Akam sets up for the Russian leg sweep. Razor comes out with the big clothesline, which they have now dubbed the final chapter, is their finishing move. So the Authors of Pain move forward, and they will face DIY in the semifinals.
Yeah, I guess we learned that no way Jose couldn't handle this.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
2.5 minutes.
All right. As long as it wasn't too long.
Nope.
So now it's time to determine who will face TM61 in the other semifinal. We have the teams of Sanity, and we have Kota Ibushi and the former Cruiserweight Champion TJ Perkins.
Yeah, let me be straight up with this one. Shouldn't have been the last match of the night.
Dude.
If anything...
We probably should have just switched the whole...
The order.
The whole show around. Just flip it around, it would have been fine.
Yeah, because...
Not to say this match was bad.
The singles match was definitely the best match of the night. But, like, the whole thing is, like, we had such a cool beginning for Sanity.
Yeah, their intro was awesome. We had
their first round match was, like, cool.
Yeah, and we had...
even though they were squashing one guy.
Yeah. And we had the interesting singles match with Nikki Cross just losing her fucking mind.
Yeah.
So we've had a really cool build to, what should be a fairly dominant team.
And then you get a makeshift team, Kota Ibushi and TJ Perkins, make Fulton and Wolf look like a bunch of goddamn morons.
TJ Perkins by himself was making them look like morons, and then his tag team partner is Kota fucking Ibushi.
I don't think that's how you say it.
That's how I'm saying it. Fucking Bushi.
No, it's fucking Bushi.
Fucking Bushi.
It's an I.
And
it just was... It made Sanity just not look good.
Yeah. And so, now... But despite that, Sanity does end up winning.
Yes.
But you gotta think, if a team like TJ Perkins and Kota Ibushi, who were like, last second, oh, by the way, you're gonna be a team in the Dusty Classic, can make them look like fools, they have to face TM61, who have been teaming together for like 8-9 years.
Yeah, basically their entire careers.
Like,
you're taking two guys, who've literally been teaming their entire careers. With the exception of one has been wrestling a little bit longer than the other.
Yeah, because Nick Miller trained Shane Thorne.
Yeah, but so basically for as long as both of them have been wrestling at the same time, they've been teaming. So Sanity seems like they're going to be screwed.
Yeah, it's not going to be a pretty picture for Sanity in this semifinal match. Granted, they do have the size and the power on their side.
Yeah.
But they don't have the smarts, apparently, because they can't take on all 170 pounds of TJ Perkins.
I just realized how bowling shoe ugly the finals would be if it was Sanity versus the Authors of Pain.
Ooh, I think it's going to be the opposite of that.
You think Kota or TM61 versus...
Yeah, Kota Ibushi's getting back in.
Yeah.
No, TM61...
Kota Ibushi and TJ Perkins versus Rich Swann and No Way Jose.
Yes. No, it's gonna be... I'm saying DIY versus TM61.
I'm going TM61 versus the Authors of Pain.
Ooh.
Rematch.
All right. Sanity won with a suplex power slam combo on Kota after Fulton took out TJ Perkins on the outside. Now let's move on to Lucha Underground, which was okay.
It's a little bit better than NXT.
Still kind of on the same level as NXT. Matanza had a new challenger in one, Cortez Castro, because the Dario's Doom landed on Dario's choice.
Which I feel like this whole promo, Dario was drunk.
The whole night he was drunk. He was just...
But it ended up explaining itself out because I feel like we had a cut scene later in the episode where Dario was drinking, and he seemed like completely shit-faced at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might have been filmed like early on during the filming of this particular episode. And so he was like, when they did the in-ring segments, he was still slightly inebriated.
So, yeah, it ends up being Cortez Castro because he got the word from Joey Ryan a couple weeks ago that Castro is an undercover agent. So, Matanza completely and utterly destroys Cortez, but I loved the effect of breaking the cast. That was, obviously it was, just straightening the arm, but just the act of snapping the cast was such a good effect for the already broken arm because of Pentagon Dark. That really added to the match, but yeah, it was a cakewalk for Matanza. He ends up winning, and then we go to that backstage segment where Joey Ryan and Dario are laughing at Cortez Castro.
Ew, my arm!
Yeah. Joey ends up leaving, and then we have Son of Havoc and Masquerade Sagrada come in. Son of Havoc wants to get some measure of revenge for Masquerade Sagrada, and a little bit for himself, and so he wants to face Dr. Wagner Jr. In hopes that he can get a match for Masquerade Sagrada versus Famous B.
Yeah.
And so Dario adds the stipulation that, okay, whomever wins, their respective partner gets to choose a stipulation for a match between Masquerade Sagrada and Famous B, which ends up being quite an interesting match. Before we got there, though, we did have Puma challenge Mil Muertes to a Grave Consequences match.
Yeah, then a fly-ass fucking looking Mil Muertes came out in his pimp suit and tried to lay the bitch slap down on Prince Puma.
Puma ended up being, in a way, the victor of this situation. He looked a little cooler as he did his little backflip into a three-point landing.
Which is also ironic because in the Ascension, Victor is also the one that looks cooler.
What?
Well, you said that Prince Puma was kind of like the Victor. He looked cooler.
Oh. I was like, where did that come from?
Victor of the Ascension. The face paint. He's usually cooler looking than Kong.
I get that.
You got it?
Yep.
Try and keep up here, buddy.
Moving on. Son of Havoc versus Dr. Wagner Jr.
I like this match.
It was fun. A lot of animation on the outside of Masquerade Sagrada trying to get in Famous B's face, and Famous B and Brenda freaking out, and an overall really good match between Son of Havoc and Dr. Wagner Jr. Where eventually we have Havoc trying to come off the top rope. Wagner's got him by the beard. Havoc ends up having to fight him off, knocks him down, hits the shooting star press, and picks up the win for Masquerade Sagrada. So rather than choosing the stipulation himself, he asked Masquerade, he's like, hey, what type of match do you want with Famous B? And so he whispers into his ear, and okay, so Famous B is going to face Masquerade Sagrada in a Believers Backlash match.
Yeah, we saw how well the first one of those went.
For those of you that don't remember, that was Hernandez versus Tejano?
I believe so.
Where the entire front row had leather straps and got to whip the
Hernandez
shit.
tried to fucking sue people over, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Hernandez ended up having like a big
goddamn
mark
welt
across
on
his face. So
face welt.
It didn't work out well for Hernandez.
And I ain't gonna knock on either one of these guys, but I feel like Famous B ain't nowhere near as tough as Hernandez.
No. And on top of that, they add a little bit extra of a stipulation because it won't just be leather straps this time. It'll be whatever the crowd decides to bring. Fans bring the weapons. in Believers Backlash. Is that happening next week?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. If there ever were another Ultima Lucha quality match.
Well.
No, for real. Either Lucha Underground's got to be supplying the weapons or supplying the fans this go around, because that could potentially be redonkulously dangerous.
Oh yeah. It definitely will be.
One of them's bringing a gun.
God. There's going to be a lot of extra security
Somebody's
when they
getting
start
shot.
letting people in for that show.
No, I'm just saying.
It's not going to be pretty.
No.
It's going to be a lot of fuckery. Is what that match is.
It is going to be the most fuckery.
Yeah. If there were ever an award for most fuckery in Lucha Underground, it's going to go to this match.
Yeah, Paul London has 2 other guys coming with him.
Yeah, we got a checkered luchador, and we got a guy that has like a black fuzzy thing on his head. They'll be here soon.
Yeah, new trios champions. That's what I'm saying.
I would not be surprised. But moving on, our main event is a loser leaves lucha match as we have Chavo Guerrero with his father in the front row, taking on Rey Mysterio Jr.
Without his father in the front.
Without his father, yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? This is one of those matches that you're guaranteed a good show because these guys have been wrestling each other for decades at this point.
Yeah. I mean, Chavo debuted in 1994, and that was only like 5 years after Rey debuted.
Yeah. They spent a good time together in WCW, and then a lot of time together in WWE.
Lots of time in Mexico.
And now some more time in Lucha Underground. So it was a great match where, it was a lot of, Rey. There was a good sense of urgency from both of them. Both of them kept trying to end the match quick.
Well, yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like, you can't afford to lose because you're gone from Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
Period. The end.
And I feel like there was
Bye.
more on the part of Rey Mysterio, where Chavo taking that heel side was just trying to poke and prod and kind of draw out the process before he laid in that final shot to take out Rey Mysterio. But it wasn't him that ended up laying that shot out. It actually ended up being his father, who came
Chavo Classic.
looked like he was going to hit Rey with a chair, got a big shit-eating grin on his face, turned around and whacked Chavo in the face.
Thanks, Dad.
Chavo drops, the bell rings, Melissa Santos announces Chavo Guerrero as the winner by disqualification, therefore Rey Mysterio must leave Lucha Underground forever.
Yeah, and here comes Dario.
Dario goes, the fuck you say? You're gonna call a disqualification in my main event? You do realize that Dario likes violence, right?
He's like, you know how much I love violence?
You're just running with this drunk Dario thing.
Yeah.
So, he's not having it. He has Marty Elias restart the match.
He's like, fill my glass, ring the bell.
And makes it anything goes. And so then we get about another 5 or 6 minutes of Chavo realizing, oh shit, now I've just been hit in the head with a chair.
My favorite part, though, is right after the match restarts, Chavo Classic just starts running with the chair up like this.
He looks like a fucking moron. Just like trying to hit Rey with the chair outstretched in front of him and gets fucking dropped into the ropes. I think he ends up getting 619, and he's done for the rest of it at that point. And then it's just Chavo realizing, oh shit, now I have to try and come back. Now I actually have to try and win the match. Doesn't quite end up working out as he gets hit with a Rana, set up for the 619, gets hit with a 619, then a springboard splash allows Rey Mysterio to win. Therefore, Chavo Guerrero must leave the temple forever.
Don't let the door split you hit you where the Aztec gods split you. I ain't trying that again.
Not trying it again? Alright.
I got it well enough the first time.
You said that about as well as this midweek wrap-up went.
I said it about as well as Dario was speaking coherently.
Anyway.
Because it wasn't very.
No.
He was...
It wasn't very.
He was sort of... not all...
Couple sheets to the wind.
Yeah, sure. That's not a bad way to put it.
Anyway, yeah, not the greatest of midweeks. Some cool announcement with that cruiserweight show. We'll see what ends up happening with that thing in a couple of weeks. But for now, thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe.
Click all the links down in the description and send to all of our social medias.
We got so many social medias.
You can also click on the SoundCloud link and listen to this review along with the Indie News, Raw Review, and SmackDown Rundown in podcast form. You can also hit the link for Reasonable Wrestling fans where you get extra videos. That's reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling.
You'll get reaction videos, you get unboxing videos, you get the punishment videos after our wagers for pay-per-views, which we'll be having another unboxing and another wager video coming up very, very soon. We're just waiting for this guy to heal up from a concussion, and we're waiting for the box to arrive in the mail. But you'll want to come over here for extra videos as well. This week you can check out our extra long review of Hell in a Cell. And coming up soon, probably going to hold off another week or so just because this has been kind of a busy week for both of us. We'll be having a top 5 for the month of October, where Kevin Hawk's going to tell us who impressed him the most in October. You won't get that podcast form, so you got to come over here. Hit the subscribe button. Go over to Reasonable Wrestling Fans. Hit the subscribe
Don't
button.
be a bitch.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. I don't know why I got
Ring the bell.
I don't know why I just suddenly got really angry. I am sorry.
Don't be a bitch.